Oh, this could get a bit tasty here. They're going 3 wide down the straight, and that 391 car's a bit sandwiched there. Wasn't quite sure what was going on. I don't think it was sort of cars left and right of it.
Bit unsure of what was happening. Of course, he had the three, the car just in front there, goes slightly wide and rejoins, and of course gets quite squirrely. And see the 391 there trying to get out of the way, not realising there's a car back on the inside as well. And of course, when you're in these tight groups, it's so difficult to judge what's going to happen. There is Merlin International, I believe. Is that who we're looking at there?
We're looking at the 359.
So it's not Merlin
International. It's not Merlin International. 359 is the Assetto Motorsport car. That's the one that we're talking about with Jim Edwards Sr. and Simon Traves in that car. Assetto Motorsport, known for the Ginetta GT5 Challenge, where they've successfully done, and also the GRDC, I believe, a very Ginetta-based team. Also, Jim's daughter Jade Edwards racing the Renault UK Clio Cup today at Donington. So,
oh, nice.
So Jade's racing for Team Hard, but that's the car there. Got the 359 in this race for Assetto Motorsport. Also in that car is Kevin Taylor, Julian Wantling, Robin Grimwood, and Ian Duggan.
There you go again. These 4 cars just flying through Stowe Corner now, so close to each other, but keeping it so far away as we go down into the tricky club corner, where it gets very tight, very slow as they scream round again. Not the slowest corner on the circuit. That achievement goes to, of course, the village section, the new part. It's like, very late on the brakes there. Looks like there was a slight bit of contact. There's the Rockingham car. That's the 448 that's going back out on track. And there's the stand-up to cancer car, the 387, just in the pit lane, getting a dash of fuel by the looks of it.
And that Rockingham car's been in the pits for 15-20 minutes. That's the one that we saw come in with the fluid leakage. But speaking of leakages, there's quite some of these drivers may be suffering that if it gets that much closer. We've got the 306 and the 447 there, which are running very close. And 447, that is the car of the GMP Developments. That's the Kermit car with the commentator Mark Rowell. We look into the pit lane now. Drivers getting ready to take over cars, and also Alex Goldschmidt there as well.
Yeah, just saw a little snippet of Alex there, prepping. I'm sure he's got another interview for us, hopefully. We'll find out. But still big train of cars here as they're going through, flashing headlights. Only one of them flashing at the moment. I'm sure the other one has lost its wiring. But big old gap between those two. But just still, you can't comprehend how many cars are on track racing at one time here. And I know Silverstone is such a big circuit, but it still feels like the track's completely full of cars.
Yeah, even under 5 hours to go, we've got so many cars. We reckon it's about 85 to 90, and we've got a message from the pit wall saying that it feels like rain may be on the way, Anthony. So
no, it's blue sky. Can see it.
We'll
see.
Sky. We'll see what happens. That might spice things up a little bit. But speaking of things being spiced up a little bit, that battle for 3rd and 4th, Citroen Racing with Darren Beckley are only 2.6 seconds ahead of Team Merlin. But also the MSAR Old Hat is only 2 seconds as well ahead. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th are separated by just under 6 seconds as well. So Tony Hutchins can find himself under some pressure from Darren Beckley and Sammy Bowler as well, and that's that for Tony Hutchins, a 3 minutes 10.2, whilst the Citroen did a 3:07 dead, but Team Merlin International, 4th the quickest, a 3:06.667. So it looks like those two cars will maybe challenging the MSAR Old Hat car for 2nd very shortly, and that would be a great battle to watch. 3 cars for 2nd place potentially.
Yeah, we'll try and get that action for you up on the stream. 4 hours, 55 minutes to go. But yeah, we'll try to find that. I'm not sure if they're in this gaggle of cars that we can see here. It's very difficult to see who is who, of course, as you can imagine, with this many cars out there. But we're looking for the 321 and the 376 and the 480. So let's see if we can have a look for those. Of course, we know who the Mac Attack one is, the 347. They're the very bright liveried car. Of course, they're racing alongside Callum Cripps in the 390 ASR car earlier on in the race, but of course they've broken away now. They are only 32 seconds behind that battle as well, so we're going to try and find out whereabouts on the circuit these guys are, see if we can hook onto them. So that's of course 2nd, 3rd and 4th position, the 321 MSAR Old Hat Motorsport, the 376 of Citroen Racing, and the 480 of Team Merlin International. We'll try and get you footage of them as and when they go round. But you've got some stats for us, haven't you, Dan?
Yes, I have. And also, just before we go to the stats, the 349, that Sailor V car, which led and had the problems in the night, they've got a bigger problem now as well, because they've been given a 3-minute stop and go for a refueling regs breach. So Sailor V have the 349 have a 3-minute stop and go, and there's a car in the gravel as well. It looks like just going through the Beckett's and Maggots section. That looks like the 417. So the TCS, is that TCS Motorsport, I believe, in the gravel, the 417. The Marshals, yeah, it is the 417. Our fantastic Marshals here, who we thank and could not be here without, are going to try and push that car out. It doesn't look like it's too deep in the gravel. They may be able to push that one out without the live snatch being involved, and we're just going to see if they can get that one sorted. We have seen that the Marshals will try and push that car out, and fantastic job. They are going to put some power behind that one, and it is going to be freed. It will receive that 3-lap penalty though for having outside assistance, but the 417 is keeping going. As I say, we do have some stats as well, and as I say, thank you very much, Marshals. The race so far.
Oh well, we're going to go for.
We're going to speak to Alex.
Yeah,
so
we were going to bore you with stats. Instead, we're going to have a chipper interview with Alex shortly. We've got a bit of time until we go to Alex, though. Yeah, I'm sure we will be disappearing to him very shortly. But what sort of stats have you got, just to bore everyone?
I've got stats about how long we've been under safety car for. We've had 19 safety cars for a total of 49 laps, and the duration is just under 5 hours at 4 hours and 56 minutes and 56 seconds. Also, another stat we have, the car that's currently leading, the Circuit Pro car, they have led from lap 219. That's 93 laps led. So the Circuit Pro car has been leading for a quite substantial time recently, as we have got a position change.
Yeah, we have got a position change. Citroen Racing with Beckley in behind the wheel in the 376 has moved up into second position on lap 312. 4 hours 52 minutes remaining. Now the MSA or the MSAR Old Hat Motorsport with Hutchins behind the wheel in the 321. He's only 1.1 seconds behind, so that overtake has of course only just happened along the start-finish straight area. So that's still a very interesting area, that is, for first, second, third. Second, third,
and also Sammy Boulder is only 5 seconds behind. Looks like she's lost a bit of time on the previous couple of laps, because she was not that far behind the driver there of Tony of Darren Beck here. It looks like we're going to hear from Alex Goldschmidt there with Gemma Hepworth, but there, as we see there, that was a very brave move. And now down to Alex.
Well, Gem Hepworth joins us from Team Merlin, so 3 of the lady quartet that we got in the all-female crew. Sammy Bowler out at the moment. Now, Gem, you had an epic stint. But obviously there was an incident that we wanted to get your viewpoint from. Obviously we had the contact between Team Tivoli 317 and Manpower Motorsport of 468. Just from your perspective, how did the events play out as you were sort of seeing those two battling in front of you?
Yep, they were in front of me coming down this straight here, and I was going for a clean overtake, kind of through the middle of them, so it was a bit dodgy, but it was clean. I gave them enough room, but they decided not to give me enough room, and we came together, but luckily I braked and they went off and I just got past. But yeah, it happens in racing, doesn't it? You've got to make risks. I wanted to get past, so I made that move.
So it's more of a calculated risk. Now obviously Sammy's out in the car at the moment. You ladies are running in 4th position overall out of I think 86 cars that are still participating at this milestone event. Must be quite nice to have the security of a roll cage and a tin top over your head rather than karting, which a lot of people know that you're very well known for.
Yeah, in karting there's nothing, you're just in the seat. If you roll it, you'll go flying out the car. In this, you feel a lot safer, definitely, yeah, and it is really fun. It's just like go-karts. I absolutely love it. You can throw it around like a go-kart, but like you say, I do feel safer.
Now obviously all 4 of you have been running quite consistently in terms of lap times, and it is about keeping it on the black stuff for 24 hours, and you ladies have done, I have to say, a very admirable and very accomplished job of showing just how crucial it is to complete a 24-hour race, because if you want to finish first, I think as the saying goes, as there's a bit of a jocularity in the background, thanks to Alice Hughes, I think. You've been spotted, Alice. But obviously, first, to finish first, you have to finish, and that is the mindset that you girls have had since you started testing here a few weeks ago to select the squad and for you to be a part of it. It must be a nice fulfilment to have a new opportunity and a new way to move forward in racing.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, this is my first race, and to be driving with these girls here, they're just fantastic. The best coaches as well. And we're all consistent. We're doing so well. And to get it to P2 after starting 18th in qualifying, I can't even explain how that feels. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Well, I look forward to seeing the moment when you all are cheering on the pit wall when the 480 crosses the finish line. So all the very best of luck to you, Alice, Katie, and of course Sammy, who's in the car at the moment. Thanks for talking to us, Jem.
Cheers.
Cheers. So guys, 480 looking to finish on a high, currently P4. So we'll hand it over to you guys back in the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Alex. Team Merlin International, of course, P4 currently at the moment. Now, you had some more stats for us, didn't you, before we went off to that? I'm sure we can bore everyone still with our stats.
Yeah, so the fastest lap as well of the race, we've got Andy Mollison from Prep Tech UK to 3:67. He has put in the fastest lap so far of this race, and to say that was set at 9:15 this morning in a time of a 3-minute 1.958. So the only car to go under that 3-minute 2 barrier is Andy Mollison, the former Fiesta champion in the Class B, I believe it was the full Fiestas. So he has done the fastest lap, and the most laps led is actually our current leaders, the 385 Circuit Pro car. They are very close to leading their 100th lap. So that Circuit Pro car has had the lead for pretty much 100 laps now. And as I say, it's been a fantastic race. And the safety car, I say, has been out for a total of 49 laps during this race for a time of 4 hours and 56 minutes. And so far, the combined total of all the laps, we've had 27,146. So a phenomenal amount of laps, over 27,000 laps combined for these competitors so far at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah, still plenty of time to go though. Still plenty of laps. They can still get out there. I'm just trying to see where the battle is between Team Merlin and MSAR. Out on circuit at the moment. Just 2 seconds between them, and of course only 8 seconds between MSAR and Citroen Racing. So still a close battle out there. I would like to keep a close eye on them, but I'm struggling to figure out where they are on circuit at the moment.
And also Declan McDonald in that Team Merlin and not Team Merlin, Mac Attack car is only 20 seconds behind Sammy Bowler as well, but they have made an extra pit stop, I believe. In fact, they made 3 extra pit stops. They've made 11, whilst Team Merlin have made 8. So the Mac Attack car 20 seconds behind Team Merlin International, the 480 cars, the all-female team, as we just saw the interview there. We saw the drivers of Katie Milner, Alice Hughes, and of course the driver Jemima Hepworth, who Alex was interviewing. So they've got just about 4 3/4 hours left to try and make a move for the podium. And I wouldn't put it past Team Merlin International to get a space on the podium. They've driven very consistently and they've kept the car clean and steadily come up the pack through the race. As we see another big, massive queue of cars there going down the Hanger Straight. And thank you as well to our cameramen as well for these fantastic pictures. We would be able to commentate as well in this race without it, that's for sure. And as we say, the cars at the moment are going down the Hanger Straight, and there's so many different colours. There's some beautiful liveries on these C1s as well. It's a very colourful and vibrant championship in terms of the liveries. As we just now go down towards, that's the Abbey corner and the 367. There's one of the cars with that windscreen as well. I think that's the 361. We've also got there the 443. Closely followed by the 306.
So yeah, still long train of cars there as they're going past the new pit lane, of course, of the Wing building. I was there only a few last week, I think, for another event. So lots of space here at Silverstone. Obviously, big old track this, and obviously this team, or this series, of course, did their last 24-hour course at Rockingham, which of course no longer is there. Unfortunately, big shame for the motorsport community. Of course, Rockingham not being a racetrack anymore, which is a huge shame.
Yeah. Also, the loss of Rockingham as the circuit racing calendar, sort of the club racing calendar, has caused a lot of shake-ups, because obviously that means there's been less tracks and sort of less days for motorsport in general, really, because the circuits and the championships that would have used Rockingham have had to find other venues as well. So it's sort of led to quite a bit of congestion on the other circuits as well, which is maybe one of the things that people maybe didn't really think about as well, is just that the greater impact of a venue closing like Rockingham, it meant they had to reschedule something like 30 or 40 days of racing all around the other circuits. So all the circuits are pretty stretched at the moment. So yeah, Rockingham closing had a bit more of an effect. It was a very nice track as well. It was one of my favourite ones, Rockingham. It's very unique with the banking as well. I did my first race ever at Rockingham in the Hyundai Coupe. So Rockingham, a track which I have a bit of an affinity with as well, and it's a shame to see it go. It was very, very unique in some ways, but I'm sure hopefully in the future we'll see new racetracks popping up as well, which would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice, and I say one of my dreams is to build a racetrack, and of course that'll never happen because my bank balance is minus. So I won't be building any racetracks with my budget, I can tell you that. 4 hours 43 minutes to go of the 24-hour endurance race here. Of course, Motorsport District Go Parts Distribution. C1 24-hour at Silverstone, and of course cracking shot there of the Silverstone banner across the start-finish line. Obviously this is the entrance into Copse Corner, turn 1 for the old pit straight. Of course weather again, it's still clearing up. That blue sky's coming over us now. I can see a lot more blue sky now. Of course you can't see any of it on your screen that we're looking at now. It all looks very dark and dingy at the moment. Yeah, there we go. But I can definitely see blue sky just outside my commentary box on the National Pit Straight. So there is blue sky in the air, Dan. There is blue sky in the air. Oh, there is someone off.
The 317 car. It's Team Tivoli who have put themselves into the gravel. That was a team which has former production BMW racer Mark Swaffer on as well. Let's see where 317 were before they've had this little moment into the gravel. It's like that one's, they're going to try and push it out, but I think it's a bit more deeper in than the one we had at Beckett, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to get that one out with just the marshals. That may require mechanical assistance. They are trying their hardest, those marshals there, but I think they're soon going to have to consign themselves to having to get that mechanical live snatch in as well to remove that car from the position it's in at the moment. And the 317, just going to have a look on the timing screen and see where it was very briefly. That is the car.
Some interesting racing going on here. You've got the 305, 375 as well. They're in a big trail of cars here. Now, looks like the 305 just got caught behind, or the 303, sorry, getting caught behind the 375 as we're going through. Now, they were trying to get a bit of an overtake on, but of course blocked a bit. And they've managed to get past the 479, I believe that was it. They've just got past there.
Yeah, the 303 is a C1 club car being driven by Jason Barron, Rainer Becker, Jürgen Rudolph, Matt Pryor and Dan Trent. So that's a 303 C1 club car. That's actually been run by the team at Amiga Motorsport this weekend, the C1 club car, alongside the car, which the 380 car, which unfortunately was out during the night, but also in that awning as well, they've got the 450 car, which is the team which has got Alexander Sherpin in, so that's one of their other cars they are running. And in regards to that 317 car, it was in 73rd place, and the driver behind the wheel when it went off the track is David Jones. And you see there, it has had to get some assistance from the JCB to pull it out. And as we've seen with other cars which have had assistance, that will receive the 3-lap penalty when it comes back on the circuit. And that 317 car, though, it is going to get pulled out, and so long as there isn't any mechanical damage which stops it going any further, that one should be able to continue once it's pulled out of the gravel. Yeah,
it just looks like he's run on a bit into the gravel trap there, so yeah, I don't think he's come into contact with anyone else. So it just looks like just just a genuine mistake there, just running slightly wide, and it happens, you know, it happens. People, especially in 24-hour endurance racing, you know, everyone's tired. And of course, you get some of those dedicated members of the team who stay up for the entirety of the 24 hours. I can certainly tell you right now, I'm not one of them. I need my sleep. I go to bed. I need my 40 winks. But yeah, it's for some of the drivers out there who have been really pushing in and, you know, really trying their hardest to stay up and all that. And again, mistakes may happen. But there we go. It looks like he's got it restarted, and he's making his way back onto the circuit, be it fairly gingerly. Not sure if he has got a mechanical issue with that, or if he's just waiting for a gap.
Yeah, let's just say there's
gap.
about 86 cars, so trying to find some space, but there we go. He's going to put a nice lot of gravel on the racing line there as well, so for the next couple of laps, there's something for the drivers to be wary of, that there is going to be that gravel on the track. You can hear it dragging out, you can actually hear it spitting out from the under tray. And it comes out in just in front of a big pack of cars there. That's about 6 cars, yeah, 6 cars. So he picked a good time to get out, because if he'd had to wait, he might have had to wait even further now.
Yeah.
He hadn't had to wait there, but 6 cars and shaking it about a little bit there to get the gravel out, but he'll be able to continue.
Yeah, he will now. So as you can see, those 6 cars have got past now. Yeah, obviously clear when he rejoined the track, but of course just going through there, and that's actually the ASR car there. In that gaggle of cars, 390, and they're trying to squeeze their way through that that big group of cars. I'm not sure if they're racing anyone in that pack, but are they racing anyone in that pack?
Let's have a look and see on our timing screen where that car is at the moment. That's the 390, currently being driven by Scott Jeffs in that car. And it looks like we've had a change for third place as well. The Team Merlin International car, Sammy Bowler, has gone past Tony Hutchins in the MSAR Old Hat car. So Sammy Bowler has got that Team Merlin International car now onto the podium in third place. And the gap between them and Citroen Racing in second is 15.7 seconds. And Sammy Bowler was actually a second quicker than Darren Beckley on that last lap, a 3:08.485. for Sammy Bowler, and Beckley with a 3:09.423. So Sammy Bowler on a mission at the moment, and the gap is down to just 15.7 seconds for second place. But just behind Sammy, Tony Hutchins was just over half a second behind. So the MSAR Old Hat car, I think, must have been overtaken either at Brooklands or Luffield, because there's not much between them at all as they cross the line. So that suggests that move was probably done later in the lap.
Yeah, most definitely. So still plenty of cars going through Stowe Corner now. Real long train of them as they go through. So many. I can't count them all as they're going through in this big pack, but it looks like the majority of the field, if I just click on the tracking part of my timing system, yeah, I can just see this long old train of cars there. I think the race leader is in that train as well. I think the 385, is he there? It's the 359 again. But I think our race leader is somewhere in that big pack, the 385. So they are at the front of a large group of cars, and they are going around this section of the circuit. So I suspect he's here somewhere. I just can't see him at the moment. We've got some classifications there.
385 is just actually a 3-driver team as well. So they have just 3 drivers doing the 24-hour. There's Simon Harrison, Timothy Hartland, and Patrick Watts. And Patrick Watts, people remember from the mid-90s BTCC, driving in the Mazda and also the Peugeot. And Simon Harrison as well, an accomplished racer. He raced in the Class B of the British Touring Cars in the late 90s, early noughties, and he was the champion as well, I believe, at the National Saloon Championship as well. So championships and race winning pedigree there with Simon Harrison and Patrick Watts. And Timothy Hartland is also a VW driver, from what Scott was saying yesterday, who's had quite a bit of success.
That looks like a flat tyre to me. That looks like a front flat tyre on the left-hand side.
That's the 357 car, so 357 into the pits, which is the SRR Motorsport. But the gap that Circuit Pro have over second place is 3 laps. So Circuit Pro have just over 6-minute lead at the moment. So they can maybe afford later in the race to take, if they need to take tyres at pit stop, or they need to do a service on oil or something like that. They've now got that gap, they've got that sort of margin where if there's something which is maybe a bit debatable, they just got a bit of extra time now to make a service or just do anything they need to do to help preserve that car to the end, because a 6-minute lead is it's a 9-minute lead even. A 9-minute lead is quite substantial, and they could get some crucial work done and still come out in front by quite a way.
Yeah, most definitely. So that's quite a big buffer, of course, that most teams can have. Now there is the 479 car. Now that is in the pit lane, and it looks like the driver potentially getting out. Who is that team, please, Dan?
That is Superleggera Racing. That's the 479 car, and the 479. It's a car which we've seen in the gravel. I think it was earlier today. That was one of the cars which we saw having a problem earlier, the 479. That car is currently, let's go down the timing screen and have a look for it. That one is in 71st place at the moment, and that has the Tony Best behind the wheel at the last check. So Tony Best has brought that 479 Superleggera car into the pits, and the mechanics in now having a chat with him, getting some feedback, I think, on what the problem is, if there is a problem, or just generally how the car is. But that car has come into the pits, as we say, from 71st place.
There we go. So 71st place, it sounds like a downer when you say that, doesn't it? But of course, it's still 90 odd cars out there, so you still plenty of cars ahead. Now there is our lime green car there in the background, but there's the 481 or the 401, I think I saw there. Didn't quite see the number as it went past, but there's your bright green car there in the back of this trail of 5 cars. But still, as they go down into the club section of the circuit, of course, where many accidents have happened at club. It's so tight as you go from such a fast section of circuit into such a slow section, and that is one battered Citroen C1 there, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, the CDMC, we've seen that a couple of times, and it's one which it's got battle scars from this race at Silverstone 24 hours with C1 Racing Club and Distrigo Parts Distribution. Just looking at that timing screen, and we saw that Tony Hutchins was second about an hour ago, dropped down to 4th, but the car of Declan McDonald, that 347 Mack Attack car, that is just 3.675 behind Tony Hutchins, and its last lap was a 304.278, which was definitely one of the faster lap times of the leading 5 or 6. But Scott Jeff's also in the 304s, a 304.404, and Gary Pebble in the Silver Lake Racing car up to 7th place, as you say, the Castle Coombs Saloon driver, and he's in the 304s as well. He did the 303 last time as well, so Gary Pebble also running quickly in the 304s, and it looks like our leading drivers sort of running around the late 303s, 304 range at the moment, as the pace still good in these cars, and these cars have now been running for they've been running for 19 and a half hours, and they've been putting a lot of strain on them. And we also now it looks like we have a position change, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my timing screen now. I've got Team Merlin International, who we were just speaking to earlier, thanks to Alex. They've just dropped down 2 positions on my screen, and I'm not sure if that is accurate, if they've had an off somewhere, but they've not come into the pit lane. I didn't see a pit marker on the screen there. It's still the same driver in the car.
Yeah, Sammy Roller. Also, Declan McDonald's gone past Tony Hutchins as well. We were just mentioning that Mack Attack car was running quickly, and Declan McDonald's last up a 304.059, and he has gone past the MSAR Old Hat Motorsport with the Castle Coombs Saloon driver Tony Hutchins behind the wheel of that one, and that car is now dropped down to 4th. But what has happened to that 480 car of Team Merlin International? It doesn't look like it's crossed the line to complete its 319th lap, and you think that it should have crossed the line quite a while ago, because Declan McDonald and Tony Hutchins have both come across the line. It's just come across the line now, a 4 minutes 26.717, so a very slow lap there for Sammy. She's lost over a minute.
Yeah, now they're in the pits now, of course. Yeah, so maybe a mechanical issue then for that car as they've gone around the track. So
yeah, maybe one for Alex to have a look at the pit stop. And we also now have a new fastest lap of the race from Kraken Motorsport. So Kraken Motorsport, the car in 20th place, it's got Stuart Lim behind the wheel. It's done a 3:01.912, and that is the fastest lap of the race. So the new fastest lap, a 3:01.912, and of course, this being the first time that the C1s have done a 24-hour round here, this will be a lap record. And we've just had word from Alex in the pit lane. There is a puncher on that Team Merlin International car. So Sammy Bowler has a puncher in the 480, and that is why it's dropped down. It's now currently in the pit lane, and bad luck there for the Team Merlin International. They've done really well to get up to 3rd place, but an unfortunate puncher has seen him in the pits, and it looks like that's them now, just leaving the pits. I can see on the stream it's just left the pit exit now, so the Sammy Bowler still behind the wheel. It's lost a lot of time, but it's still in the race in 5th place.
Yeah, it's such a shame then for that team. Obviously cracking effort by all of them, but yeah, big shame for them, Dan. 4 hours 29 minutes to go. Your race leaders are currently on lap 323 at the moment, so still flying through, and still plenty of action going around the circuit as we hear the screech of the tyres there, with a car again with no boot lid, but of course I'm guessing it means it's got no front windscreen either.
That's that Sailor Bay car, the one that was leading at it was leading in the late hours of last night before it had its problems. That car is currently being driven by let's have a look, Sailor Bay is being driven by Robin Welsh, I think, in that one, the 347. So that is the car which was, as we say, it was running really well last night until it had a problem with the roll. So they are now down in, as we say, drop down the order, Sailor Bay into 44th place, the 349 car.
Yeah, so down there now, I think my timing screen is just updating at the moment, but 4 hours.
Leaders are in as well, Anthony. Sorry to cut across
you go for it.
Tony Hartland is bringing that Circuit Pro 385 in. It has a 3-lap lead, so there is no rush for them in the pit stop. They don't need to make any mistakes or anything like that, but that car now in the pits of Tony Hartland.
Yeah, so there you go. So dramatic action all the way round. So race leaders in, but they've still got that, say, quite a large buffer, so they could do quite a bit of work to the car now and still be in good contention.
Things like brake pads, things that they'll consumables which they will run through during the race, and with that gap they have to 2nd place, if there is any small work that needs to be done on that car, which they have the luxury of being able to do, they may do either now or later in the race. But to say, with about 4 hours and 27 minutes left, after this they may only have 1 or 2 pit stops left. So we now look at that 395 with the breeze still attached to the top of it.
It is. Oh, did it just fall off? No, it didn't.
No,
it's still there. It's still there. I thought I actually said it now. I just thought it fell off. But yeah, no. So at the front of that, and I'm sure those drivers behind are not appreciating the smell of that breeze, which is of course now wet.
It's quite a nice tactic actually to keep the drivers behind. If they don't want to smell that.
No, exactly.
They're going to, it's not going to be good, I don't think. I wouldn't want to be behind that one at the moment without going through my air vents. But
no, definitely.
Yeah, it looks like, let's have a look and see. It's still in the pits actually, the race leading car, I believe. I haven't seen it leave the. Nope, so it's still there, 385 Circuit Pro car. And the latest Citroen Racing are second with the 376. Mac Attack back up to 3rd place. Declan McDonald with their 347. In 4th place is 321 MSAR Old Hat, and that's the battered Majestic 421 car coming down the pits. And when we were in the pit lane, Anthony, we saw them having problems with that car as well. They had to wheel it in the garage even briefly. Yeah, there was. It was in the garage for a fair chunk of time. It was. So yeah, some real struggling issues with out there. And of course, you get a slight front knock in these cars. Of course, there's not much protection for the engine or the radiator as they're going through. So, of course, a slight bit of front end damage, which is highly likely with this many cars on the grid. There's the 419 coming in. Looks like for a dash of fuel, as he's wearing a very tactical
That looks like a welding mask, I think, to help him fuel. Not sure you'll see much out of that, but
that looks like one of the more pristine cars. That car just looks in absolutely fantastic condition. At least from what we can see in the camera.
Touch wood, it stays like that. Yeah.
Considering how long it's been out racing, that car looks very good. And we got the 481 car. I've just had word from Alex Goldschmidt that they've got problems, it looks like, with their gearing. Let's have a look and see what their report is from Alex. Thank you very much, Alex, for your reports at pit lane. The 481 just did a 313 twice with just second and fourth gear, and that one is currently in to have the gearbox change because they want to finish the race.
Oh, a full gearbox change.
Full gearbox change for the 481. Let's see if I can find which car.
And I'm not mechanically minded in any way.
Flying Haggis Racing, that is. So the Flying Haggis boys onto a gearbox change, the 481, and 313 with just second and fourth isn't really that bad, but
it's not, is it?
I think
that's about the gears you need for this track, isn't it? Second gear for
third and fourth.
Second gear for village. Fourth gear for everything else.
Yeah, so second, third and fourth are the primary gears they're using. We spoke to Callum Cripps and he said that they're not even using fifth gear on the Hangar Straight. No, they're just using second, third and fourth. So losing third gear maybe not as... It's annoying for them because they would need it to go sort of second to third and sort of third to fourth. But considering that's good lap time, 3:13 with the problems, but they have brought that car into the pits in the hope of getting the gearbox changed to finish the race. The C1 USA car 416 is still going along, and it's just been overtaken by the 337, another car which had some problems early on. That's the Burton car.
Yeah, so still lots of stuff happening out there, and of course, position changes at the front. Still very close between our top three. Of course, that podium position, that last podium position, of course, Mattek Racing just taken that with McDonald in the car from the MSA of Hutchins in the 321. Of course, they've just moved down. Now there is a spin, and that is at the exit.
One of the Silver Lake cars as well, and it looks like the driver's having trouble getting that one back going, and that is not a safe place to be stopping.
No.
And I fear that we may have to have a safety car to retrieve that one if the driver can't get it back, although it looks like he was just getting it going there as the shot went away. So it looks like the Silver Lake car had a problem, as we see now the car's going through Beckett's and Maggots, and yes, he has got away, and it looked like that was the 458. Yes, it is the 458 car, and that's not the Silver Lake car that was running the top 10. No, that is the one that car had some problems in the night as well, the 458 as well. That car down in 81st position on that one. So unfortunately having more problems, but this one was able to be, it looked like it had a spin or it slowed down.
Yeah, just
getting it going.
Yeah, as you say, it just looked like a spin, stalled the car. Bit of a slight rookie area there, but of course, gets it going again. Struggled to start up, but got it going again, and no need for any yellows in that sector. And of course, that was just out of Luffield and Blue going through Woodcut. So
421 just leaving the pits as well. That Majestic Motorsport car I see is just leaving the pit lane now on the stream. So Majestic Motorsport back out into the race, the 421, and it's just a bit of a novel, really. We just saw there going down the National Pit Straight, there was clear track very briefly, and that orange car there, Area Motorsport, they were one of the favourites for the race, but they had problems early on with that car rolling, the 384. That's the car which has got TCR driver Carl Swift on board that one. So Carl Swift was on board that car. Who's he seeing car now in the 384 for Area? They did lose a lot of time earlier in the race. It is down in 74th place, and the car which is currently, and the driver that's currently in that car of the Area Motorsport, which is the 384, is the driver in the car, David Vincent. So David Vincent currently in the 384 car, as we see the Clapham North car that we mentioned earlier, the 474, that now also just going through Luffield, and there's a car which is heading for the pit lane as well. That is the 379. So 379 heading to the pit lane. That's the ELK Motorsport car. So that one coming into the pits. And as we say, we're sort of getting to that point now where teams may be able to, or was that car there going through cops? That was looking like it almost got very loose there, but as I was saying before that moment on screen, it gets to a point now in the race where teams may be able to finish now on 1 or 2 pit stops. As I say, we've given the information that fuel lasts between 2 and 2.5 hours, so getting to that point now where after this they may only need 1 pit stop to the end.
Yeah, no, very true. Of course, tyres, well, I say they last a while. We just saw the picture when Alex interviewed Callum, and we saw his tyres. I'm not sure how long they were on the car for, if they were just for his stint, but he absolutely chewed those tyres to a pulp. So yeah, we can say, I would say probably, yeah, we're out probably 1 more pit stop now. If you pit now, 2 hours, and then 1 more pit stop, and then I think you're on to the end of the race. So it just depends on how much you can conserve the fuel, really.
Yeah, so as we see, that could be a factor with the fuel. And just looking at see what's going on at the front of the field, has there been any changes? It looks like, in fact, that's a Circuit Pro car.
Still
in the pits.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a routine pit stop, and that is the Circuit Pro car, which had a 3-lap lead, and it looks like it has come back out on track now. I've got Patrick Watts on my screen as taking over that car. It had an 8-minute 47 pit stop, so maybe, as we said, they did do some extra work on that car just to get some of the consumables or little bits they could to sort of give the car a stronger chance of finishing this race in 4 hours and 18 minutes time. But former BTCC driver Patrick Watts now on board that car, the Circuit Pro, which leads by a lap, it's saying on TSL timing. So it's saying that we have a 1-lap lead there. In third place is Declan McDonald and Mac Attack, but Mac Attack now 19 seconds behind the Citroen car. Mac Attack are really showing some strong pace. The last lap for McDonald, a 3:04.984, and I believe that car will be coming across the line again very shortly as well. Just looking out the commentary box window now to see if that car comes across the line in the near future to get another lap time for it. There we go, car's just coming across the line now. I don't think it's coming anytime soon, so it's not crossed the line yet, the Mac Attack car, but its last lap, a 3:04.9. Just seen the exit 13 car come past our window with the Bree still attached, so for those on Bree watch, it is still there.
Yeah, that's, that Bree is still holding on for dear life, isn't it? Yeah, Circuit Pro then obviously back out on circuit now. Very lengthy pit stop, as you say, obviously doing those essentials. I would say they've probably gone for a brake pad change, I would say. Definitely an ideal thing to do. Get those good brakes to last for the last 4 minutes of the race. 4 hours of the race. But Citroen Racing, they're still 2 laps down. But of course, last lap 3:08. So they're not the fastest team out there by actually quite a long way. But it looks like we're going over to Alex for another interview.
So standing by my left-hand side is 2013 GT Academy winner from Portugal, Miguel Faisca. Miguel, it's been a bit of a stressful one out there for you on this particular stint.
Yeah, this was not the ideal stint. It started out sort of well. I was in the middle of the pack having some brilliant fights, but then I had a car that probably was fighting with a car that probably was with lower fuel, and he kept on bumping me on the rear as I was defending, keep on bumping, till the point that he opened my boot, and the car aerodynamically after that was quite bad. Had to come to the pits. After I went to the pits, I went towards the end, didn't scan because I thought I was already scanned, which I was, but apparently you have to scan every single time. Drive through, stop, ask why the drive through, couldn't respond, did exactly the same thing on the exit, and then a second drive through. So if it wasn't for those 3 things, the stint actually would be quite good, quite fun. But unfortunately, we lost a lot of time on my stint because of this.
And now with Brendan getting back in the car, obviously I think I speak for everybody in this paddock, yourself included, that wants to see the checkered flag and think just relax, exhale, have a good deep breath, detox a little bit, because as Miguel's doing the right thing, being a professional racing driver, drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, it's quite needed, especially after 3 hours in the car. Although it's not too hot inside and actually it's not too demanding, I still need a bit of a drink afterwards. And then when it's all over, maybe a couple of beers as well.
Well, I think you've definitely earned it. Obrigado.
Obrigado, nada.
Okay, good luck and enjoy the rest of the race. So Miguel Faisca, 2013 GT Academy winner with esports and stars in 306. With Brendan Lee out, let's head back to you guys in the commentary box.
Thank you, Alex, again there with your cracking interviews down there with some great questions, great drivers down there as well. So development nearing the front now. Macatak Racing currently running in third place, the 347 car. It's got McDonald in the car at the moment. Now they are 14.2 seconds behind the second place team of Citroen Racing with Beckley in the car. Now they are lapping though a good 2 seconds faster a lap, aren't they, Dan? So yeah, if you can do the maths, how long do you reckon they'll be right on their rear bumper?
The current rate, it's going to be probably about 6 or 7 laps, as we see a great camera shot there, the sun glinting off the C1 USA car there, the 416.
Sun's coming out.
The sun is coming out. It's just good to see. But I think Declan McDonald on a charge as well. He's, as we say, his last lap was a 304.846, whilst Beckley in the Citroen car 376 was a 306.2. So the gap is definitely coming down for second place, as we see cars side by side just coming underneath our window now. That's a 303 C1 Club car and the 419. It's just come into the pits, the 419, so hasn't been out very long, that car, and it keeps going. And the Cock Endurance car still running. It looks extremely battered. It's definitely one they'll be advertising that as one careful owner, I think, after this race on the car sales. But yeah, that one's still going, and that's one of the ones which has taken quite a bit of punishment in this race so far.
It has indeed, and of course you saw it broke down at the exit of Beckett's. Of course, it had that mishap. They've fixed it. They've got it back out on track, which is excellent to see, especially with just over 4 hours remaining. So those guys really putting on the pressure for the rest of the other teams in terms of mechanically fixing their car, albeit with missing 3 of its 4 windows on the car at the moment. But as I say, yeah, 4 hours 13 minutes remaining. Quick rundown of your top 10 as it stands so far. Circuit Pro and the 385, they are leading the way on lap 326 at the moment. Second place is Citroen Racing. They are 1 lap down the road, or 1.5 laps I would say down the road. They are on lap 325 currently. The third place team, Macatak Racing, in the 347. It's got McDonald behind the wheel. They're only 16.4 seconds behind your second place team with Citroen, and again still lapping about 2 seconds faster a lap. Fourth place, MSAR Old Hat Motorsport. They are in the 321 car. They're only 15 seconds behind Macatak Racing in third place. Then you've got Team Merlin International, which had that unfortunate puncture a few laps ago. They've been put down into 5th position now in the 480. Then we go to ASR in the 390. Of course, quite a few drivers in that one. I'm aware of. They're still flying around now. Had a few issues though, but yeah, they're down into 6th place. Silver Lake Racing, they're down in 7th position, the 398 car. Alex and Holmes in 8th position in the 401. 9th place in the 331 is Cresswell, and then rounding out your top 10 in the treble 3 car is Toll Bar Racing with Phipps at the wheel currently at the moment. Have you got any more exciting stats for us, Dan? Have a look at your stats screen.
I will have a look at the stats screen and see if we've got anything. Patrick Watts, the car which is in now the 385, has now led for 109 laps, but it took over the lead on lap 219, and that has covered nearly 400 miles in the lead, so quite a considerable distance there, 400 miles, and that one's car has been in the lead for the last stint for. We've not had any safety cars since our last check on the stats.
Touch wood.
And the total number of laps now stands for combined for the competitors at 28,138. So 28,000 laps combined this field has put through. So they're certainly getting their money's worth here at Silverstone.
They really are, but of course, yeah, 28,000, but of course some of the teams only completing just over 300 at the moment. So yeah, putting all those together, that gives you your grand total. So yeah, tons of laps around here, tons of wrecked tyres. I'm sure there'll be a shortage of C1 tyres for the world's population after this race.
They'll become antiques, I think, at this rate.
Yeah, the price will go through the roof. Price will go through the roof. There you go, 4 hours 10 minutes remaining, and weather's still holding off. We've still got some bluish sky. It is cloudy, but the rain is holding off. I don't know if we're due any, but the weather and track conditions is cloudy and dry out there. Oh, there's one of the cars using almost all the track and some. There's a yellow flag out just in front there. I'm not sure what's happened.
Going on to the hanger straight, so if you've got a camera position at Stowe, they may be able to see what's going on there. There could be a car stopped on the hanger straight on the outside. Let's have a look to see that camera position there just outside the Chapel corner. So looks like there is a car maybe that's hit trouble on the hanger straight, the single waved yellow there on the hanger straight. But as we say, we're looking through the order. It's still the same. Mac Attack still catching Citroen Racing this time. They're just over a second on that lap. Declan McDonald catching Darren Beckley. The gap down to 15.2 seconds. The gap was about 2 seconds a lap before, so not quite catching at the rate they were before, but a very long race. We've still got just over 4 hours left, 4 hours and 9 minutes to be exact, so there's still plenty of time for that Mac Attack car to make further progress. And let's not forget, that's the one that qualified on pole, and they had the exclusion after qualifying, put them right at the back of the 99 car grid, so they have now made 96 places up during the course of the race to find themselves in third place. Also, a quick shout out on the stream for the Stand Up to Cancer C1s, message saying bring them home. And as we thought, there is a car there which is on the grass on the hanger straight. So one of the cars, it looks like a mechanical issue there with the way it's pulled off on the hanger straight just before the bridge. So that car will facilitate getting the potentially getting the vehicle out. There's a spin as well. That is a spin for the 378 car, I believe that is. It's just pulling away now.
Gets it going again.
318 even. That's 318. That is Trade Price Cars Racing. So Trade Price Cars Racing having a spin. The driver getting it back, but not a good place to spin there, going through Maggots and Beckett's as well. But he managed to get the car back on the track with back in safely. But I do wonder what car that is, which is on the side of the road there on the hanger straight, and there's no vehicles going out to it. It's in quite a complex place actually to get something out to it on the hanger straight there as well, because in order to get a rescue vehicle out, it would have to go along the grass, I think, on the hanger straight, because it is literally pretty much in the middle of the straight just before the bridge, Anthony.
Yeah, it's in quite a difficult spot there, and of course safety vehicle can't really cross the circuit with it so busy. I mean, you'd have to wait for a safety car to come out, but I don't think that's safety car worthy. It's you know, it's just pulled off. It is just a mechanical issue, and I reckon it can get going again if you just get a few marshals out there to give it a good push. Thank you, marshals, if you can hear. But it's yeah, I think if we get a few marshals out there just to help out and get that going. As one of the cars going very wide, missing the corner. Not sure who that was, but they've rejoined again. Just couldn't see any numbers out there, but going into yellow flag conditions, that's not really what you want to be doing, is it?
No, Clarkson, of course, don't tend to like things like that happening under yellow, although he had just hadn't quite reached the yellow flag. He got back on the track there just as he hit the yellow flag, so
kept his foot in it, though.
Yeah, he kept that fully planted. He wasn't no lack of commitment there at all.
No, definitely not. And sure, maybe will they potentially go for a track limits on that one? But yeah, we'll see what comes up on there.
Penalty for the 400, it's saying, for assistance. So I wonder if that car is one that's on hanger straight at the moment, because they seem to be quite quick on getting the assistance ones up. 400, to see where that one is on the...
Oh, there's the Land Rover.
There is a vehicle going to it, as we say, down the hanger straight. So it looked like it was a mechanical issue for that car. We still haven't identified which one that is, but it's a car which is...
I can't see anyone dropping down the order, though. That's
see if there's any... The triangle symbol on the timing screen is often quite a
a good aid for you.
good
Well,
aid.
I'll
Let's have a look.
leave that in your capable
Yeah,
hands.
can't see anything yet, but
No.
it looks like that car is definitely in trouble. It's just how much trouble.
Oh, is this to look for some brie, is it? There we go. There, the brie is still there. Brie's hanging on.
Maybe worth.
Does that mean I owe another cameraman a beer? I do hope not. This is getting. It's it's got someone else talking in my ear, but there we go. So there is the stricken car being recovered. Still, just can't quite see the number. It's a bit blurry. We've had to zoom in quite a way, and of course there's also a Land Rover in the way as well, completely now. So I definitely can't see who that is, but I'm sure as they come closer, we will see. Double waved yellows.
Now that's because there's vehicles there as well. So so the team there just being pulled out right on the edge there, out the way. But of course, as soon as they get past, they can of course resume racing. And they've got slow moving vehicle flag out there now. Of course, the white flag. But that team just now being recovered. Yes,
Looks quite bumpy there on the edge.
It's the 400, I think, the TCS Motorsport car. That is now showing as being missing, and that was the car that actually came up with the assistance penalty before the vehicle had even got to it. So
they always said, well, he's going to need assistance. He can have a penalty. They've not given him any assistance yet. So,
oh, they have. He's got the assistance now.
He's got the assistance now.
Also, it might be worth next time that 395 is in the pits, we can have a close-up of that brie, just to sort of see the condition of it.
I wouldn't want to get too close to it.
No, we don't think we'll put our poor cameraman through that, to be fair. He's done a good job for us in the pit lane today.
No, it will be. So there we go as it comes into view. And we will get a number. Oh, is he just going to get out of the way?
400.
400, yeah, it is definitely the 400. There we go. So, the 400 there being recovered. So, yeah, they were very quick on that 3-lap penalty for assistance to come up, because that had come up before anything else. Before
the vehicle had even got there.
Yeah, before the safety vehicle even got there, before the yellow flags came out. Oh, he's going to need assistance. He can have a 3-lap penalty. So, they're hot on the penalties, are the stewards here at Silverstone today for the Citroen C1.
It did help us identify the vehicle actually as well. So
it did, yeah. It was handy. It was a bit handy feature there for us, but of course that could have been anyone. Oh, and there's the 400 yet, just pulling behind the fence there. So he's now off track. The yellows can be cleared, and racing can be resumed as normal. So as some of these drivers going around now, real screech in those tyres. The torture to that, the torture to that front left tyre. That must be the one that gets eaten up the most, because of course you've got Stowe corner now that they're going to go into. That's going to chew the tyre up. Then you've got Copse corner, that will chew the tyre up. The first corner at the end of the wing straight, that will chew the tyre. Abbey, of course, a lot of corners, right-hand corners on this one, chewing up that. And it looks like that car's been off the track for a little off-track excursion.
They're following it. We've had also a message on the stream from Ryan Savage to say he'll be out in the car for the last 3 hours. So Ryan Savage is going to be driving his car for the last 3 hours of that one. See if I can find which car Ryan Savage is driving. I can see his name on the entry list.
You have a look for that one, just noting all the tyre marks there that you can see on the track, just where cars have gone off through the race. And of course that would have probably been through the night as well as during the day. But so many out there. Do you have you found what?
Not as of yet.
Not as of yet. I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you to it. Big old long train of cars coming down here. We are about to get to the 4-hour mark. There's all those marks on the track. Look at that. Just how so many cars have gone off on that tricky part of the circuit. Of course, it's very easy to lose the back end of the car on one of these, purely from being a front-wheel drive. If you've had a lift-off, you get that lift-off oversteer, and then it snaps back on you and you go off into there. That's a common thing with small front-wheel drive cars, is that you can get that, of course, that lift-off oversteer. So keep your foot planted and you'll be fine. So let's say about to surpass that 4-hour mark. And there's that bright yellow car missing its front windscreen and its rear windscreen. That's the 367, I believe. It's just taken to the grass, clipping those apexes a bit too much, trying to get past that the bright yellow car. And I think he's going to have a run down the hanger straight. There's the 473 in front of this pack of 3 cars. And there's the car that we saw earlier, who had the crash with one of the Majestic Motorsport cars at the exit of Stowe, where of course the medical car had to go to, but of course driver was fine, car was recovered, and they cracked on racing. And we are at 4 hours remaining of the race. Current time of day here at Silverstone is 1:30. So race due to finish at 5:30 on the dot. There we go. So
just as the timetable suggests. And,
yes, I know.
Ryan Savage is in the 423 checkered past car, so that's a car which he's going to be driving for the last 3 hours. So about an hour, and we'll see Ryan Savage on track for the end of the race.
There we go. So again, we are now at the 4 hour mark as it clocks over. Now there it is.